Welcome to That's No Class. I'm Brian Berman.
And I'm Morgan Darian.
Welcome back to the home of class. People on TikTok really liking our call-outs on each other's no-class meals. The current tally, as it sits right now, 48 likes on Morgan's call-out of my Subway sandwich, 25 likes on my call-out on her cottage cheese pasta. Which actually surprises me because the hate was so universal on me and my Subway sandwich across so many platforms that I thought there's no way that anybody's going to be on my side. But it's nice that somebody recognizes,
you don't feel alone.
even if it's only about half, still recognizes that cottage cheese is nasty.
My gosh. One of the comments on my video about your sub said, "Leave him now."
Oh, man.
Pretty funny.
Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right.
Oh, shush.
Well, let's get to some news.
Now here's the news.
Okay, so Pope Francis just gave Mass on Palm Sunday in Vatican Square, and he's going to be at least 4 other events through Easter Sunday. I mean, he's the Pope.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, he just got out of the hospital.
Oh.
And he's still doing all this stuff. He had bronchitis. So I know the Pope is a controversial figure because he's the Pope, but I don't know, man.
Is he controversial?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, it's the church sex abuse scandal, and like people are never going to be satisfied with the Catholic Church.
Is this guy a new guy?
No, he could do things now. We weren't going to talk about this. I
Sorry.
wasn't going to talk.
I'm sorry.
People know why the Pope is a controversial figure because he's the head of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Like, that's why. I mean, I could say
Continue.
that. But to me, I don't know. He seems like a nice guy, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
And, you know, there's no doubt that he works hard.
Uh-huh.
And I can't imagine how tired he must be traveling around the world, usually always dealing with some kind of sickness or injury. So here's a list of illnesses, injuries, and hospitalizations that he's dealt with over the last few years as the Pope. He has knee problems and sciatica, and he often uses a wheelchair and a cane to get around.
Oh my
and
God.
if you see pictures of him getting in and out of the Pope mobile, usually makes a lot of grimaces of pain. He's usually
no.
It's like horrible faces that he's making. He had major intestinal surgery in 2021 where they removed 13 inches of his large intestine.
Oh.
And so this most recent trip to the hospital was for bronchitis, like I said. Reportedly, he was having trouble breathing, so they took him to the hospital, but then he was out pretty quick.
Okay.
But all this to say, this is an 86-year-old man.
True.
And when he got out of the hospital, a reporter asked him, "How are you feeling?" And he smiled and he said, "Still alive." And that has to be like the funniest joke from a Pope ever. Like, it's literally what my dad says to me every time I ask him how he's doing. When there's nothing good to say and everything is kind of falling apart. "I'm still alive." That's what he always says. And I wonder if it's some sort of like Latin American thing. Who knows?
Maybe.
If your dad is Latin, does he say this?
I don't know.
It's my dad and the Pope say it. To me, that's a group right there.
It's like group.
But I really liked it just because, you know, it makes the Pope seem like a human being.
Yeah.
Because, of course he is. But he's surrounded by all these people constantly, like, you know, his holiness and all this stuff. And I feel like him saying that is just like, hey, man, I'm just another dude. And I'm glad I'm still here. Thanks, Lord. Like, he's saying it just like anybody else. So,
That's really funny.
there we go.
All right, cool. Okay, so according to WHIO TV 7, 2 guys.
Don't know that channel.
It's an Ohio channel. 2 guys that were in jail in Virginia, one for contempt of court and probation violation, and one for credit card fraud, forgery, and grand larceny, made tools out of a toothbrush and a metal object and had found a weakness in their cell wall. Once they began breaking down part of the wall, the rebar was exposed, so they could then use that to make the hole bigger. They escaped.
Okay.
And the jail put out an alert being like, "See something, say something." And these idiots, they literally just went to the IHOP down the street, and then someone saw something, so they said something, and they got arrested again. Like, if you're going to escape, you better escape, fool. Like, one of them was a forger. Get to a safe place, steal some food, and get forging, my guy.
I mean, when you see that IHOP, how many years have they been put away?
Yeah, I guess.
Do we know? How many
I
years since
don't
they
know.
had
I don't
some
know.
IHOP?
They just saw the IHOP and there were like stars in their eyes.
I mean, I get it though. You would. If you were like, first thing though,
First thing,
gotta at least eat
let's
when I
get
get
a
out
little
of here.
huevo and maybe a pancake.
They can't be forging within the cell.
I know
Like
that.
they need to get somewhere before they can get forging.
I know,
So-
but I'm saying first order of business, get hidden.
Yeah. What I always wonder about that kind of thinking is like, yeah, wouldn't you be absolutely terrified as soon as
Yeah.
you're out of the walls of the prison? Like,
Yeah.
I know that there is a manhunt underway for me right now.
Right.
So wouldn't you get as far away as you could?
You would think.
You would
But,
think.
you know, these are the guys that got caught.
That's
so-
right.
And there
That's
are other
right.
guys out there who don't get caught.
That's right.
And maybe this is the difference.
They're not at IHOP.
They're not at
Maybe
IHOP.
that should be the first step for the cops is be like, search the closest. Where are the closest IHOPs to the prison? We want officers there now. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I keep bringing you like criminal activities.
Yeah, lots of criminal stories. Although
I just love it.
I had one too. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it enjoying. People like true crime, which is about people getting murdered and
Ugh.
stuff. We're not talking about that.
I know people are really into that.
Oh, they love
so into it.
They love it.
I can't
It's-
watch it.
it's-
I've watched a few and I just did not feel good.
No, it's titillating to them.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, it's exciting watching other people's demise.
Ugh,
I don't know.
I don't like it.
Not really, but people
No.
like it. Okay.
But I like this stuff.
Yeah.
Show me
dumb
some
crime.
Show me some pigeons with cocaine in their little backpacks and guys getting some IHOP before going back to jail.
That's
and I'm
Morgan's
happy.
show. There's an untapped market here for people interested in these particular types of things. All right. When we come back, we got our favorite fact-checking segment of the show. And then later, of course, your no-class picks of the week. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be right back.